just too short. She's just a little lady who kills people. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another I read something so you don't have to video for you, and this time it is the Mindfuck series. I have seen this started floating around, but I first saw it on Katie Colson's channel. She did a reading vlog for it, and her general just like roller coaster ride of emotions while reading this made me want to read this book. So here I am to do a reading vlog for this. I totally forgot to film an intro when I started the vlog. I do that a lot, so I'm here on outro day doing a little intro. We're gonna jump into this, but I just want you to know that there may be spoilers during the vlog, and I definitely spoil things in the outro a bit, so just be prepared for that. If you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this vlog. I won't be mad. Come back and watch it after you read it if you want. I'm not gonna be upset by that. There's your first warning. Second warning is there will most likely be mature content of some kind. There is a lot of triggering stuff in this book, from the, sexual things to like violence. And if this is not something you want to hear me talk about, then please, again, you don't have to watch this video. It's totally cool. There's plenty of other things to watch on the channel. There's plenty of other things to watch on YouTube. If it's not going to serve you, don't read it. Don't read it. Don't watch it. Same, don't read it if it's not going to serve you. But if it's not going to serve you, if it's going to make things bad for you, bring up anything triggering, please don't watch this. I will not be upset at all. Anyway, with all of those warnings and caveats, etc., etc., let's just roll right into the vlogging part of this, and I'll see you guys in the outro. I was going to wait to do any updates and just get some of this done and then talk to you guys and film something, get some like cute b-roll or something with like me reading or whatever, and then I can start talking. But I'm confused on page, not even page 1. It is the prologue. It says The Risk, book 1. It's book 1. I assume this is the prologue page, the intro page, or the whatever page. It's got a bunch of names crossed off. So many names left to go. Einstein said, quote, "The weak revenge, the strong forgive, the intelligent ignore. Fuck that Einstein wasn't always right." All right, cool. Whatever. I'm here for it. Revenge is a dish best served cold, ... Now that I agree with, period, it means they forget you're coming for them, and their screams sound so much prettier when the time finally comes. I feel like reading this book is going to be like the time I tried to take the real estate course to get my real estate license to make my ex-husband shut up, and I couldn't do it because there were so many typos in the entire textbook that I ended up spending most of the time trying to fix all the grammatical and spelling errors, and then didn't actually end up sitting for the exam or even finishing the course because it was just so excruciating. Why do I feel like this is going to be what this experience is? But with like murder and sex instead of condos and mortgages. Oh, this is going to be a journey. This is going to be a journey. Okay, first actual real reading update. I am like 60 pages into this. Don't ask me what this hair is. We've had a day. I started really getting cozied up into this and the water heater broke, so I was going to shut that door because it irritates me. Somebody else get like irrationally annoyed when doors are open. I have lots of problems. So does this book. So, okay. How do I process these thoughts? So you have, I can't tell if this is going to be spoilery or not, but like Lana is this like serial killer lady who's kind of like Dexter-esque, who's avenging something that happened to her in the past by killing all these men that were part of it. And then she meets Logan one day when she's having coffee and a muffin, and Logan is the FBI agent assigned to this serial killer case that she's the serial killer for, and romance ensues, of course. The writing is hilariously bad. The amount of times that she has to repeat to us the reader that this is a bad relationship. The problem is the fact that he's sort of my opposite in that not so good way. Meaning I kill people and he catches killers and I can't stop. I wish I hadn't met him so early on in my list. That is like one of many times that she makes similar statements. They're like, oh, but like we can't be together because I kill people and he catches killers. And like we get it. We got the premise. All right, stop beating me over the head with that. Also, like, how in any way, and how does he not figure it out? Like, I know that they're trying really hard to make this so that it's not clear that she's the killer, and she's like this great serial killer that like is really good at covering her tracks and all that. But like, it's just so obvious. It's so obvious. And like, I love that because her dad has this obsession with Albert Einstein. Every chapter opens with an Albert Einstein quote, which is just funny to me because it's like brilliance. One of the most brilliant minds that has ever graced the planet is being quoted. And what would he think if he knew his quotes were being used to start chapters in this murder porn? Like, I will say that there are some text messages between them where the banter is kind of like quirky and fun. I mean, it's not great. It's not like anything to write home to about, but they're funny and engaging. And I do kind of like the banter. The banter is good. So like, I can kind of see why this has its own little like cult following of readers and why some people really love it. But like, the writing is still just so not great. It's hard to go from some of the things that I have been reading recently to this because it's remarkable how not good this writing is. But I mean, the premise is, I mean, it's fun. I mean, they just got it on. I'm 60 pages in and they've already done the bang to bang bang. I would say the smut's not anything. It leaves something to be desired. It's just kind of like they had sex. It isn't that straightforward, but like pretty much when you're done reading it, you're kind of like, and they had sex, instead of being like, ooh, that was some good smut. Like, that doesn't exist. I mean, I kind of want to keep reading it because I just want to see how stupid this Logan person is that he doesn't catch on. I mean, I don't know. More updates to come. And I just want to shower, but I can't because I have no hot water.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And
Okay. Hi guys. I finished book one. Okay, so I have thoughts. At the start of Sidetracked, which is book 2. First, we have the cliches of all cliches in romance. We have big guy, little girl, and we have to actually say it. The guy is just too tall, and I'm just too short. She's just a little lady who kills people. So like that was like, did we have to actually say it? Like we all got it. But anywho, So she kills a few people, more people on her list. You get a little bit more backstory on what happened in her small town. She's got a gay brother, something about her dad being really evil. There's a nice like mirroring between her and Logan, because like Logan has a gay brother and like some dad problems and like a bad mom. I don't really remember anything about Lana's mother. Maybe we'll talk about more about her mother in a bit. But like nice little like parallels between the two of them. Just one's good and one's evil. Love it. She goes to New York, which it's a little weird. I'm not sure if this author's ever been to New York City, but given all the other flaws in the story, I'm just gonna kind of like leave it, because I don't know how she, like the first time she goes to New York City, she like goes undercover with her business partner, Jake, or her murder partner, Jake, who's like the tech guy, who I think was her brother's boyfriend, anywho. And they like go spy on the next two people she's gonna kill by like going to this restaurant that has a terrace eating area, okay? But like when she leaves, first Logan and like his compatriots are parked outside the restaurant in an SUV. Here in New York City, you just park outside. And then she's parked like right next to the car. Where is all this parking? Where's all this parking outside of restaurants in Manhattan? Like, so it can't be Manhattan. Can it be Manhattan? Maybe she's on Long Island. I don't know. I don't know where she's supposed to actually be. But it doesn't make any actual logical sense. But am I asking too much of the story? I might be. So she eventually murders two more people to get more backstory. But before she goes and murders them, she goes back to the city, and she murders another guy. She murders some random guy who like comes up on her in an alley or whatever. And she's like, New York isn't prepared for me when I arrived. Blah, 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 blah. Then some guy comes over and he's like, hey, sweetie, da, 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 da. He pulls a knife on her, and she like uses a knife to kill him in some crazy badass chick way. And people see this, and she's like, people won't say anything. Even if they did hear it, they'd keep walking. That's what people do. They tell themselves they'll just die too. They tell themselves that their life is more precious than the person dying closest to their feet. Like, someone's still gonna say something. I just don't believe it. I don't know what, like, DC, Gotham town you live in this story, where people just watch people get eviscerated with a knife and are just like, oh, I don't want that to be me. Like I don't think they're gonna stop you, but I feel like they would call a cop. And then she says, true story. And I want to know if you think this is a true story. Is there validity to this statement? I don't think so. Most people are more terrified when they see a knife. Literally says true story. Most people are more terrified when they see a knife than when they see a gun. It's a psychological thing, but it works out in my favor at the moment. I don't agree. She ends up like helping Logan profile this murder rapist man, and he's off trying to find the guy, but of course the guy's like totally off the grid and like already 3 steps ahead of them, and yada yada yada. And seemingly when she's helping him profile him, she like is just doing it on the fly. And then unless I missed something, like she's talking to Jake, because I guess she has Jake looking into this guy too after she's murdered her other 2 guys and she has nothing else to do. She's like following up on this other murderer rapist guy, because I guess she's taking it upon herself to kill him. I'm assuming that's where we're going with this, but if you're confused, I'm confused, just go with it. But so Logan goes through all the trouble after they mutually profile this guy to like figure out who this guy is and get a name, right? And then several chapters later, she's talking to Jake, and she's like, you found him? His name is Gerald Clemens, blah, 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 blah. She goes, and then later she goes, have you found him though? I already knew his name. So like you already knew how the guy, why do you already know who the guy is? I have so many questions. Like, is this gonna be like another guy from your past who's now a serial rapist? Do we have, like, how many things do you have in your past? Like, I have questions about why you already knew his name. Like, how did you already know his name? Because all you did was like tell him being Logan, like you guys like brainstormed on this thing. So did you already know who this guy was before any of this happened? Also, like after she murders her last 2 victims and Logan, I guess, comes and surprises her at her house, and she's in a towel. Sexy, sexy times come about. And then he, like, after sex, he's like, oh, my hands are red. Why are my hands red? And did you cut your head? He's like, what happened? She's like, oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. And he watches her wash her hair out, and, like, it's red. Like, red water comes out of her hair. And she somehow convinces him that it's just blood from when Jake cut his finger. This is the dumbest FBI profiler I've ever seen. Or men are really that dumb when they're blinded by the lady bits. But with all that being said, I need to read book 2 because book 1 ends on quite the cliffhanger. Because one of his compatriots shows up on the doorstep with, like, jaw dropping. I don't want to give, like, all the goodness away, but, like, it's a good, like, well, now I have to read the next one, even though I know this is absolute shit. It's absolute garbage. And I'm mad I didn't read this on vacation, only because this would have been fantastic on vacation. Because now I only have 1 day left of COVID, well, before I have to go back to work. And am I going to read this all in 1 day? I mean, I could, but I can't because I have things to do tomorrow. How long is book 2? And book 2 is long. Why is book 2 so long? Oh, book 2 is like 100 and something pages. It just looks long. So, like, can I read this tomorrow? Can I get through book 2 tomorrow? Maybe. We'll pick back up tomorrow. This is surprisingly fun. Terrible. Like, objectively terrible, but also fun. Major critique I have right now, and maybe it gets spicier throughout, but, like, it's a romance with a stabby twist. I got the stabby, I got the gruesome. Like, I wish she spent a little bit more time on the murder scenes. Like, she kind of, like, starts to do the murder scenes and it starts to get a little gruesome, but, like, girl, you could have kept going and gotten, like, real sick and gross, and I would have been right there with you. But then also, like, the sex scenes, it's like you could make these super kink and super raunch, and you don't. If you took this book and you took Den of Vipers and you married them and, like, had a little baby, that would be the book I'd want to read. Marry those 2 books, book baby, that would be fantastic because it would be violent and it would be sexy, and it doesn't need to be reverse harem, but it would be violent and sexy, and I'd be there for it. I need to go to bed or do I need to just spend the night reading this? Okay, so I haven't been reading this for a little while, so I just picked this back up and I finished book 2. And she really likes to stop this book, like, on crazy cliffhangers, which I appreciate. She also better get back to all the murdering because book 2 ends with, like, something happening to Lana, basically. And I really hope this isn't going to distract Lana from her mission of, like, killing all these men that harmed her and her brother. And I want to know, like, don't get too sidetracked at this point. Like, that was the name of book 2, was Sidetracked. Don't get sidetracked. Stop getting sidetracked. Let's get back to your mission here. Your mission was not to be distracted by men. Your mission was to murder all of these people that harmed you and your brother. This is a really attractive angle. Anyway, back to this, because this is what I need. In these times of just absolute dystopian horror, maybe a little dramatic, not that dramatic, I need this. This is what I need in my life. So I need Lana to get back to her mission. Also, the first book, they quote Einstein. The second book, every chapter starts with a quote from Confucius. Now it looks like we're getting William Shakespeare. It's not going to go throughout this whole book. Like, what was this choice? I need to keep reading this. Yes, I'm nearly 40 and wearing pigtails. I don't care. I've got sound room that you can probably hear in the background. I'm waiting for Jesus to get home with some sneakity snacks. I had a coffee. We are reading this until I can read no more. So I've paused my sound room so I can give you guys a little update. So I am, like, I guess I'm like halfway through book 3, and I guess we're gonna get back to some murdering, so that's good. I mean, Lana's fun. I really like her. I like that we get another POV now. Now we get Hadley's POV, so that's fun. It's gonna be interesting watching Hadley get like mixed into this whole story. I still think Logan's a freaking idiot. Like, how does he not put together any clues, like any contextual clues at all? He's just like thinking with his penis. She being Lana, does something that gets her like celebrity notoriety, and by that I mean like she does something and she's in the news and she says celebrity status is not fun when you're a serial killer who needs a low profile. No shit, Sherlock, I could have told you that. No, this is fun. I mean, it's not super smutty, but it's like a little bit sexy. Like, they have, it's not Fade to Black, it's like the next step up from Fade to Black, so like they do have sexy time, but it's mostly like stabby. But it's addictive. It's total garbage and so addictive. So let's see. I have this much before you can hear the fireworks probably. Mercy, the trazodone has hit, so she's asleep. She was freaking out before. But I have that much before book 4. I might read it tonight. I might finish book 4 tonight. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. I keep thinking like, oh, I'll just pour myself a glass of wine and I'll read. And then I never get up and pour the wine. I forgot, like, why did I put this down for so long? I'm enjoying this. What? I do wish it was smuttier though. Like, I'm going back to, I wish that you took this and you took Jenna Vipers and you made a book baby, and like that book. I really want to read that book. So if somebody has written that, tell me. Like, that would be fun. I would enjoy that. That would be a good time. It would also be a really good time if the fireworks would stop. I hate the 4th of July. I hate it. I had to tranquilize my dog because she was having a panic attack. I hate the 4th of July. I love this fucker though. Oh, there was one other thing. So Lana and Hadley are having a conversation, and from that conversation I learned that apparently the key to mental health is to just take a lot of like martial arts. So like taking a little Krav Maga and Jiu-Jitsu will not only help your like hip mobility and your ability to protect yourself, but apparently it'll also give you some good mental health. Maybe that's what I need to do. That's how I need to survive 2022, is I need to start taking jiu-jitsu. I did not mean that to rhyme. Shut up, Alyssa. Go back to reading. I'm gonna go back to reading now. I shouldn't be allowed to have a channel. Good morning. I did not finish book 3 last night because people called me. I got distracted. I went to sleep. But I'm going to finish it this morning and then get back to some other books that I'm reading, not for this vlog. But why? I have like this much left, just a little bit. But like, why are civilians so heavily involved in FBI cases? Like, I just don't think this is how the FBI works. Even if you are their like significant other, you don't just like go criminal hunting with them. Also, like, what the fuck is happening up to? And like, I feel like this is gonna be like, I feel like this whole little town that Lana comes from is just like a bunch of like white nationalists that can get away with doing whatever they want because they are alpha males and an incel, and like they can do whatever they want and to whoever they want that challenges them, and it's fine. And that there's somebody in the FBI that is covering for them, and it's all cool. And I'm kind of like, you go, Lana, you go. You take down those baddies. You take down those baddies. Because this new guy just stepped in and is sort of like taking over the case from Logan, and he's like totally protecting all the baddies. Spoiler. Why is this so good? There's no reason for, objectively, this is trash. Why is this so good? I'm having such a hard time with this. All right, back to reading. Okay, I just finished book 3, which means I have to like do something else with my life because I can't just sit here all day reading this book. Also, it's so heavy it hurts my arm. But I'm loving. So like they're going back to the town. They are going back to the town. We are back in the Crazyville. It's giving me FLDS vibes. It is giving me cult vibes. It is giving me all the things I love. And Lana is just terrorizing these people. And I'm here for it. I'm loving the Hadley part of the storyline. I really want to know how it ends. Like, how do they resolve things with Logan and Lana? Does Lana get to keep her secret? Does Logan find out and like break up with her? Does Logan like find out, but he's like, I love you anyway. I see why you murdered all these people. Does she murder all the bad guys? Does she get her revenge? Like, what the hell happens? No, Alyssa, you can't read this all day. You can't. Oh, but I want to. Yeah. So I'm in book 4 of Mindfuck. I'm on chapter 4, and this book, man. Also, like, this hair right here is giving me like totally my brother in the 90s vibes, and that's making me laugh. Anyway, book 4, things are getting spicy, and by spicy I mean like in the stabby sense, not in the like sexy sense. We finally know exactly what happened to Alana and her brother, and Lana and Jacob are just terrorizing Delaney, or whatever the heck this town is named. This is town called Delaney Cove, Delaney Court, this little town. Like, they are absolutely traumatizing them, and it is fantastic, and I'm loving it. But I don't understand how Logan doesn't get it, because they just go see Jacob's dad, and Jacob's dad's like, if Victoria, who is Lana, if Victoria wasn't dead, she would be the murderer. Like, he tells him like, this woman is the murderer, and he's like, yeah, but she's dead. And like, you're not thinking at all like, hey, that's an interesting point. Like, what if she didn't die? I mean, maybe you wouldn't think that. Maybe that's not logical. Maybe that's just something you think in like fiction and crime fiction because like we're trained to think that. I don't know. But I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to finish it. I will give you guys an update when I'm done with book 4, and then we just have one more book to go, and I can wrap up all of my thoughts for this reading vlog. Because like, this book objectively is terrible, but I can't. Every time I do stop reading it, obviously, because I don't sit down and read a lot, but I always like listen to stuff. But like, every time I pick it up, I can't help myself. Like, I just keep going. Like, I have to keep going. I have to finish. When I pick it up, I usually read an entire book, and then I'll stop and put it down for a little bit. I mean, it's definitely worth the time. It's a fun ride. Those are early thoughts. It's a fun ride. Okay, so like, something happens in book 4. I've switched to like a Kindle version of it because I can't hold that big ass book anymore. Hurts my wrist. Something happens in book 4. If this man doesn't figure out that it's Lana in the next like few pages or before the end of book 4, he is the worst FBI agent. He's an old crabby man. Anyway, as I was saying, if Logan doesn't figure out that Lana is the Scarlet Killer or whatever they're calling her, the Scarlet Slayer, sorry, then I don't know if this man should be an FBI agent. I feel like he's not good at his job. Just saying. I seriously look like my brother in the 90s when my hair's like this. I feel like this is the general consensus with this book is like, how does he not know? How does he not know? Mercy, how does he not know that his girlfriend is the revenge killer? Like, how does he not? Like, several of his staff are getting clued in. He's not understanding it. It doesn't make any sense, Mercy Moo. Are you annoyed now, so you're leaving? I know. It's crazy. It's crazy, Mercy. She's gone. No more snuggles. Okay, back to this book. I mean, I like her, and I think she's got every right to kill these people, but this, okay, I don't know if these random clips are gonna come together into a coherent reading vlog or not, but I don't care. We'll figure that out. It's chaos. It's my channel. You guys are used to that. But are we ready for my favorite quote from this entire book? And I'm not even done with it. This entire saga of serial killer smut. Favorite quote. And not everybody has the ability to go dark enough to slice men's eggplants off several times and torture them for days without losing all sense of humanity. You know what, Lana? You're right. The average Joe would lose all sense of their humanity doing that. You are a rock star, girl. You chop off those eggplants. You get them. You get it, girl. Get those bad guys. But seriously, like, they revealed what they did to her dad in prison. It's fucked up, man. This whole town better burn by the end of this. Like, burn. Like, burn to the ground. This town is bad. It's a bad place. This is not a good place. This is a bad, bad place. Okay, I finished book 4 of Mindf, and like, is he still really that dumb? Like, okay, so he knows he's been falling in love with the serial killer he's chasing. Like, okay, that's great, but like, he still can't like. He knows this in the dumbest way possible. He's supposed to be like the smart, great FBI agent. And like, how is this? How? And like, the way he finds out and the way he like approaches Lana about it is so inappropriate. Like, you can't do that, sir. I know you're hurting, but that is wrong. That is illegal. Problem is it's now 12:30 and I kind of want to stay up and keep reading. But I can't because I need to go to bed. I mean, there's every chance that I just have to finish this tomorrow. I was going to do other things with my life tomorrow. But I need to know how it ends. Oh my god, this book, man. So I am more than halfway through the last book of Mindf, and I'm not coming in with all of my thoughts because we need to just like do a whole like final thoughts at the end now that we're in book 5 and everything's crazy. But like, it's a crazy ending, but still, like, so like, remember in the very beginning there was like some weird typo thing that just made no sense, and like some of the phrasing doesn't make any sense. She does it here at this really pivotal moment in the climax, and she says, I hope you don't mind, I'm not going to say who it is, I took the liberty of emptying all the bullets from every gun in the house. Sans your service weapon. Who says sans your service weapon? What? We didn't need that. We didn't need that. It would be more believable if you just didn't say sans. It doesn't make any sense to use that phrasing. Plus, like, so like, Logan knows now, and like, I'm gonna need Logan to like pick a side, but also like, none of this could ever happen in real life, ever. No, I don't believe it could happen in real life in any way, shape, or form. But we're gonna take this wild ride, the Mr. Toad's wild ride to painting the town red. Oh god, what a book! What a book! I finished my book. It's done. All done. I just need to collect my thoughts tomorrow and wrap up this vlog. But I finished it, and it is quite a ride. So we will come back when it's not almost midnight and I have all of my thoughts together on this journey that I just went on. For like a while now. I've been filming this for quite some time, and this book is just, it is something else, man. Oh my god, this whole time I wasn't recording. Hey guys, so this is my second time recording this outro. Because I didn't actually hit record. I thought I hit record. I don't know what I hit, but I didn't hit record. But we're recording. It's happening now. Need more coffee. So anyway, so we were here to wrap up the Mindfuck vlog. This book was fun. And I'm glad that Katie Colson did a video on it, because then I saw it, so then I wanted to read it, so that here we are. I know in my brain that this is an objectively bad book. It is not written well by like every standard like literature rubric of like good writing, but the plot is fun, the story is outrageous, and like I just had a good time. It was hard in the beginning because that first book is really clunky, and especially in the first couple pages, I think I noted like a few little like typos and stuff in the beginning that made it hard to read. There are a couple more throughout that are really blatantly obvious, and there's some other ones that are less obvious. If it is difficult for you to overlook those kinds of things, if reading like grammatically incorrect stuff or like things with spelling errors just really grinds your gears, don't read this book. But if you can ignore all of that and just enjoy the ride that is the plot of the Mindfuck series, read this book. I think that's the best way that I can break it down for people on like whether or not you should read this. There are some things that I found kind of like difficult to swallow. Like every chapter heading has, and each book has a different person until the last book, and then they mix them all together. But like one book has Einstein quotes, the next book has like Voltaire quotes, they have Confucius quotes, they have Shakespeare quotes, and then they're all mixed together in book 5. But there's something really weird about reading like a quote from Voltaire and then reading the first paragraph in this book, like under it. It's jarring because you can't like put like William Shakespeare next to St. Abbey. It's just too strange for my brain. I hated that. I hated that with a passion. It was like trying to make this higher brow than it really is. Like this is a fun time romance with a stabby twist, as it says on the back. This is not literature. This isn't like literature, nose up literature. Like this is fun time romance, which is fine. It is a valid and fine genre of writing. And some of these books can be like much more intellectual. Some of them can be a lot more fluffy. This book is just a plot-driven, crazy ride. Lana is fun. She's a badass. She's like budget Lisbeth from the girl with the dragon tattoo. She has Jake to do all of her coding, and she can just go out and be a badass and kick butt. It is completely illogical, most of this plot. Here are some spoilers that if you don't want to hear, but here are some spoilers. The fact that Logan takes till book 5 to figure out that, or till the end of the story to figure out that his girlfriend is a serial killer makes zero sense to me, because like what kind of FBI profiler are you? But okay, we'll go with it. Maybe he's distracted by his love for Lana. Next, Hadley. How does Hadley, another FBI agent, find out that it's her in like book 2 and just go with it just because she does her a solid and murders? I don't know why I air quoted that. That's nowhere in there. It doesn't say that she did her solid, but she did her a solid and killed the guy who like SA'd her and multiple other children when Hadley was younger. That's nice in a world where revenge is okay, but you're still an FBI agent. Why are you compromising this case? And thirdly, there's another FBI agent whose name I cannot remember, also figures it out before Logan does. And it's cool. Like, he's just like, oh yeah, this town is corrupt and deserves all this murdering that she's doing, so I'm not going to say anything. It's not true. And the worst part about that for me is that they're all in this town, Logan, Hadley, and all the other people from Logan's crew. investigating what's going on in this town to figure out why all these people are getting murdered that used to live in this town, what the hell happened years ago that is making this person seek revenge on all these people from this town, and why this other FBI agent who is above him, who worked on the case originally, was corrupt and trying to prove how he was corrupt and why he was doing it and like his involvement with the sheriff in this town. Why would you then all be corrupt just like him? I mean, the ending was fine. Like, the ending was fine. Like, I was glad for that, though, like, I don't know. It was a good time. It was 100% a good time. And that's where I'm leaving this. But there were things that I had to suspend my disbelief for, where I was like, if this plot wasn't as fun as it was, I would never have finished this book. If the cliffhangers between each book weren't as ridiculous as they are, and weren't like so like just so over the top to the point where you had to be like, oh, I need to know what happens next because this is insane, I would not have finished this book. It's also really crazy that the author, whose pen name is S.T. Abbey, unfortunately and sadly passed away in a car accident. When this book, car accidents played like a huge role in things with this book and like setting up the plot of this story for it to work. It's a little bit eerie that that's how this poor lady had, passed. But I'm not trying to leave this on a sad note. But anyway, I guess I'll just stick with the beginning. If you don't mind poorly written books that happen to have incredibly fun plots, you should read the Mindf series. If that's going to drive you insane and is going to take away from any of your ability to enjoy the experience of this insane plot and story, don't read it. Just do yourself a favor. You're not missing anything. It was a good time. I wish it was a little smuttier. I think the marking it as a romance is like, it's really like a One Chili's romance. I don't know. I still stand by the fact that if you took this and you made a baby with Den of Vipers, then I would have a series that I absolutely loved. Because the outrageousness of some of the crazy sex in Den of Vipers could be toned down by the basic, general, vanilla sex of the Mindf series. And you'd get something right in the middle, like 3 chilies, lots of stabbing, none of it during sex. And it would be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So if anybody knows of a book like that or wants to write me a book like that, please do. I would love to read it. Otherwise, if there are any more outrageous books you'd like me to do vlogs on like this, please leave them in the comments below and I will make sure to check those out. I've done a couple of these already. I've done Den of Vipers, Jane Eyre Laid Bare, Ice Planet Barbarians, now this. So it does take me a little while when I have to read them physically, just because it takes me a long time to read anything physically because I just don't sit down and read a lot. I would love to make more of these if you guys would be interested. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in my next video, whatever it may be, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want. Bye.
So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go come closer next to me, trying to find another